Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips and a couple of announcements. Remember our summer special. Spend $1,000 with us on products or tuition or professional development or courses and get a $200 certificate that you can apply to more learning. And you can combine this with our Learn and Earn program for members, where we actually pay you to attend some classes and take some of the courses that are part of membership benefits, okay? Fall semester is not that far away. I mean, I can't believe it's already the end of July, but if you're thinking of taking some classes from us this fall, this would be a great time to start thinking about this. And if you want to talk to me about it, I'll make time to, figure out what you want to do, give you some advice, whether it's studying with us or not. We sure have been at this for a while. I think our experience is pretty relevant. So my email address is pampopper@msn.com. If you live in Central Ohio, by the way, we have stuff going on here every week, so check our online calendar. And the other thing is consider joining. I say this every week. You guys ask me questions in email that are great, and I would like to answer them, but I can't spend all day typing because I get like 3,000 emails a day. So I do these Q&A sessions twice a month via teleconference for members. You can even submit questions in advance and listen to the recording. And that's the way you can have sort of conversation with me if you want to. And there are all kinds of other benefits too, depending upon the level of membership that you choose. So consider joining us. If you like what we're doing, it's a way to support our work too. All right, what I'm going to talk about today is not surprising information. We just sometimes need to be reminded about it, and particularly during these times that we're living in, and that is that loneliness is bad for health. A new study, including over 3,400 people, concluded that older people who were sometimes or mostly lonely had shorter lifespans and fewer healthy or active remaining years than people who were not lonely. This isn't the first study that has shown this. I mean, we all know it. People who are lonely have poor physical and mental health. They tend to have more limitations as they age in terms of the amount of daily activity that they have. They're more likely to be depressed, and they have a higher risk of all kinds of diseases like coronary artery disease and stroke and early death. Health officials in some countries have decided that this is such an important issue, and it's such a big problem, that they've set up they've appointed health officials to look into it and bureaus to oversee it. This year, Japan appointed a minister of loneliness, and it just lets you know that it must be serious all over the world, not just here in the United States. Travis Christofferson wrote a great book called Curable. I covered it in a couple of advanced study sessions for members here. I really liked the book. There was a lot of great stuff in it, but he actually talked about loneliness, and he said that the two most important factors, and I've heard this from other sources, this is not the only one, that influence longevity are first, strong connections, like really good close friends, and social integration, the amount of social interaction that a person has throughout the day just in living their daily life. Loneliness negatively affects health more than smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So it's more important for you to have close friends and interaction every day than it is to quit smoking. I would say let's do both, right? It leads to a 50% greater risk of early death, whereas smoking is only 30%. So that's pretty striking in my opinion. A study of 3,000 women with breast cancer, women with fewer friends were 4 times more likely to die as a result of having breast cancer than women who have really good, strong social connections. AARP Foundation, the American Association of Retired People, they did a survey and found that 47.8 million American adults over age 45 are suffering from chronic loneliness. And there are several reasons for it. I mean, the first thing is over half of adults are unmarried, 25% of people live alone. And the marriage rates and number of children per household has been going down. And then all kinds of other things. People move around. They don't necessarily live near their families anymore. They're scattered around the country or around the world. So all kinds of things affecting this. If you look at the blue zones, however, and Travis covers this in his book, he says they're structured around human interaction. It's, of course, what they eat is different, and that's important, but the blue zones lifestyle has a lot to do with this too, and it contributes to their health and longevity. So in Sardinia, for example, 6 times more centenarians live there than on the Italian mainland, 10 times more than in North America, and men live as long as women there, which is very unusual. And Christofferson says that the reason why, and I've heard this before, and in fact, Dan Buettner covered it in his Blue Zones book, density is the key. People live very close to one another. And then to this point of dealing with a lot of people just through daily interaction, they do. They're surrounded by family and friends. They're close to business owners in the area. They go out to buy bread and supplies and get their hair cut and just wander around and talk to people. And to that point, this was just sent to me this morning by a friend who, it was just very good timing, I guess. And this is what she wrote in her email. I'm in Greece in a little village that is well known for their elderly centennial women. The grandmother of our 45-year-old landlord is 102 years old. She lives in her own house. She does her daily chores and cooks and takes care of her garden, has her siesta after lunch, and meets her friends in the village square in the evening. That's the way I want to be when I'm 102. But that is also clearly not the way that we're living in the United States and most places. It was bad before the pandemic, but the last 17 months or so have made it much, much worse. And I mean, lack of social connection, we were talking about it. I've written about it actually before. Christofferson wrote about it in his book. You know, many activities still aren't restored or no longer available. And so I think we have to work harder to reach out and connect with other people. We need to do it for ourselves, for one thing, but we also need to do it for the people who we're reaching out to connect with. They need it too. And I found that sometimes people are more willing to do something that would help somebody else than they are to do something that they think will help themselves. So that's why I mention it. I've been doing this myself. I'm trying to call friends more often. I'm sure people would like to hear from me more, but I am so busy right now with all the things that I'm doing, but I am calling friends more. I'm taking advantage of invitations. I used to often be too busy to do things. I don't do that anymore. I invite people to our weekly meetings here. I spend more time with local friends and make new friends. Between career and volunteer activities and all the things I've been involved in historically, I've always had the opportunity to meet a lot of people. I think though that I just, I never really stopped to get to know people the way that I do now. And as part of it's probably aging. I may have reached this point in my life even without the events of the last 16 or 17 months, but I am much more interested in connection to other people than I used to be. And I recognize how important it is in my own life, how much I need it and enjoy it. And I also, in some cases, know that the people that I'm connecting with really benefit from this too. So think about where you can reach out, who you can reach out to, where you might be able to spend time to take the edge off of the loneliness that a lot of people experience. And that's one of the things I think we need to do to restore our society and the fabric of our communities that's been a lot disrupted through all of this. So, all right, well, that's all for today. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it. And I will for sure be back to you tomorrow with more news. Now, remember, I put out a newsletter on Monday and I put out videos Wednesday through Friday. I only appear on this particular channel on Tuesday. So if you want to get all the rest of the stuff, you need to become a direct subscriber. So email me at pampopper@msn.com. And if you're interested in anything that we do here, email me at pampopper@msn.com. All right, have a great day. Talk to you tomorrow.